Good afternoon. I'm Merrick Masters, and welcome to the UAW Organizing Watch Report. Today is June the 15th, 2024, and the focus of today's watch is the UAW's internal frictions under the monitor's watch. As you know, the UAW is under the scrutiny of a government-appointed monitor as a result of the scandals which were revealed in the last decade of this century and resulted in significant turnover in the union leadership. You can check this video on CBS Detroit News a couple of days ago, which provides a glimpse of some of the issues associated with this latest iteration of difficulties that the UAW is experiencing under federal monitorship. The topics that we'll cover today include the issues and charges before the monitor, some highlights of the monitor's ninth report, which was issued on June the 10th, 2024, some ethics and management issues, and moving forward. The basic issues and charges before the monitor are the following. It's been alleged by two officers that they were retaliated for refusing to engage in certain improper conduct. There's also an allegation before the monitor about financial misconduct, embezzlement in particular, by an unnamed regional director. And last, there's concern that has been expressed by the monitor over dilatory tactics on the part of the UAW regarding the turnover of documents requested as part of the investigation into the charges brought by the two elected officers against the president of the union. As I mentioned, the monitor, Neil Barofsky, issued his ninth report on June the 10th, 2024, which identified these issues and the charges, as well as provided for a more comprehensive review of some recent investigatory activities undertaken by the monitor in compliance with the consent decree that was implemented in early 2021. The charge involving the president and the secretary treasurer is that in February 2024, the union's International Executive Board passed a motion in support of the president withdrawing all the field assignments assigned to the secretary treasurer that were not constitutionally required to be within her remit, and made certain other policy changes in response to allegations that the Secretary Treasurer had engaged in misconduct while carrying out her financial oversight responsibilities. In response to this reassignment of duties, the Secretary Treasurer lodged allegations of her own against the union's president that, among other things, the charges against her were false and that the removal of her authority was improperly instigated in retaliation for her refusal or reluctance to authorize certain expenditures of funds at the request of and or for the benefit of those in the president's office, and to dilute her power to make similar denials in the future, not in response to any malfeasance on her part. Another set of charges filed by another International Executive Board officer and International Vice President involves a situation in which a few months after the February charges against the International President by the Secretary Treasurer, the monitor expanded the investigation to include allegations advanced against the union's president by another IEB member, the vice president who had been overseeing the union's relationship with Stellantis. On May 29, 2024, the president removed the Stellantis department from the vice president's oversight and reassigned it under his own control. Shortly thereafter, the monitor received allegations from the vice president and other union staff that the explanation in the president's memorandum was pretextual and false, and that the president removed the vice president's assignment as retaliation against him for, among other things, refusing to engage in acts of financial misconduct to benefit others. In addition, on an unrelated matter, in April 2024, the monitor separately opened an investigation into another IEB member, a regional director, involving allegations of embezzlement. The monitor, in the 9th report issued on June the 10th of this year, expressed concern about the apparent dilatory compliance with requests for documents on the part of the UAW so that the monitor could proceed with the investigation into these charges. The monitor has attempted for months, he says in the report, to garner the union's cooperation in gathering information needed to conduct a full investigation, but the union has effectively, he says, slow-rolled the monitor's access to request. It's produced only 2,600 documents of the potentially relevant 116,000. The union's arguments for delaying the monitor's access to the market to the documents marks a sign of lack of cooperation, according to the monitor. Monitor, however, issues a cautionary note, which I urge all to consider, and that is, it is premature to reach any conclusions about the merits of the charges, the counter charges that have been filed, or the charges of embezzlement against the regional director in this particular case, or even on whether or not the delay in compliance with the monitor's request for documents is unexplainable. The monitor says at this stage it is important to emphasize that the allegations are just allegations. They prove nothing in themselves, and nothing in this report should be construed as reaching any conclusion about possible charges, if any, for suspected misconduct. The report raises ethical and managerial issues and illustrates the difficulty of operating in the kind of fishbowl environment that the UAW does today under the monitor's scrutiny. Some of the ethical issues involve top-level pressure or allegations thereof to engage in financial improprieties, retaliation for refusal to submit to such pressure, insufficient cooperation in complying with the monitor's request for documents, and the charge of embezzlement. Management issues include potentially differences of opinion about internal union policies and practices concerning financial matters, and also processing documents to comply with the monitor's requests. As I indicated, the UAW operates in a fishbowl environment, and that means that its internal frictions will be a matter of public record as the monitor conducts these investigations. Moving forward, it's very important for the UAW to get these issues behind it, to comply with the monitor's request so that the monitor can issue a report and clear up the charges one way or the other involving the parties that have been named in these particular situations. It's very important for the future of the UAW in immediate and longer term to get this resolved so they can move ahead on the merits of its campaign to organize new workers in the non-union auto industry on the basis of its potential value as a representative of the workers, and not on whether or not there were potentially illegal activities or inappropriate activities or unethical activities in these particular situations.